Greetings, fellow Goobers. Welcome back. It's me, Goober, here with 666. And today, we're doing my top 10 favorite video games. We already did one for 666, so hey, let's figure out what I like. So without further ado, here we go.
Jump in. Number 10!
Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, as we like to call it. Yeah, this was my very first game ever. I think I was about 5 years old. My birthday, opened the big box present, and it was a Nintendo Entertainment System that came with Mario Bros. But it came with the cool Mario Bros. That had Duck Hunt with it. So it had the gun, it had, you know, the gun in the game. Yes, this was my introduction to gaming. This was my introduction to Mario, the beloved little Italian plumber.
Do you remember the little zapper noise it made? Or when you click the little button, it made a distinct sound.
Yeah, you hear
I miss that sound.
The spring. Yeah. It's almost like a tick. Like you gotta pull the trigger just to hear that sound to get it out of your system. But yeah, everybody knows Mario. This game, the side-scrolling platform game where you just wee little Mario running, you get your mushrooms, you grow, you try to save Princess Toadstool, is what she's called, I believe. She's not Peach in that game.
Yeah, no, she is, Peach, Toadstool, whatever, yeah.
Just Toadstool, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways, but you go to each, there's 8 worlds, and then you go to the castle, obviously. You jump over Bowser. King Koopa, I think, is what he's called in that game, and then little Toadstool dude's just like, hey, princess is in another castle, and you're like, son of a bitch. It made my top 10 list. I don't play it now to this day, but it was special to me because it was my first game, and every Sunday I would go to my dad's house and I would play this with my uncle, and that he would just sit there all day with me and we would just play this game. And then when we got sick of jumping up and down, jumping over turtles and Koopas and Goombas, we would duck hunt, which was a whole other thing, that fucking dog. That would harass you if you missed.
Yeah, and laugh at you.
Nothing made you want to rage more than that stupid ass dog. And then if you got sick of that, there was like another top secret mode in the game where you could shoot clay pigeons instead of the ducks. So that was kind of, you got like 3 games in one. It was pretty sweet.
Number 9!
Baseball is like one of my favorite sports of all time. I watch it to this day. Being Canadian, we have our team, the Blue Jays, and always been a fan. But yeah, so the game is MLB 99.
I was going to ask, why did you choose this MLB versus others? Is it because timing of gaming, like you're the ripe age? Why did you choose this one? Because you played so many.
This one is this was mine. I had it. It was the only baseball game I had for the longest time. Oh, that's not true. For Super Nintendo, I had Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball for that as well, and that game is freaking hilarious and awesome, but I don't know why that didn't make my list, but
yeah,
hey.
But like that's why I asked. Why
MLB 99 was at the time for me, it was the most realistic, most precise baseball experience. At the time, the year, it was a good year for, it wasn't a good year for the Jays in general, but it had some of my favorite Blue Jays of all time, like the Sean Green, Carlos Delgado. I believe Roger Clemens was on the team at the time. Roy Halladay, Tony Fernandez, Jose Cruz Jr. All these amazing players. So it's really unfortunate that they didn't do anything with all these great players. But it was just like my life mixed with game and just the overall experience. Yeah, MLB 99, it was tip-top game for me. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, there we go. There you have it. Baseball.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, Number 8.
Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Warped.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot Warped. So we played the Insane Trilogy, some of it, back a while ago.
Yeah.
And in that we mentioned that we didn't have much of any experience with the first Crash Bandicoot game. And Crash Bandicoot 2 was really cool, but I felt that Crash Bandicoot Warped really capitalized on a lot of things. Like,
it was a true successor to the series.
Yeah, I mean,
like it kept on getting improvements, but that one had the most. You got some special moves and
vehicles. It just kept improving off of the previous games, adding certain features and making it more fun for me anyway. I enjoy 2 as well, and I dabbled a little in 1 with the Insane Trilogy, but they're just not as good. Most games, the originals, or like if you're lucky, the sequel will be better. Like those are like the classics. Those are the ones. But I feel like Crash Bandicoot Warped is like the epitome of Crash Bandicoot games.
It's the pinnacle or the peak.
Yeah. And another reason why I like Crash Bandicoot is he's kind of like PlayStation's unofficial like mascot, if you will. I think, in my opinion, like Sega had Sonic. Nintendo's got Mario. What did PlayStation have? I think for me, in my opinion, when I think back to the PlayStation 1 days, I think of like Crash Bandicoot is one of the first characters I think of every time. Let's put it this way: they don't make games like this anymore, right? So. Yeah, so Crash Bandicoot Warped.
They remake games like this.
They just remake them. They remaster them and just put them out again for us suckers to buy them.
Number 7. Yep.
Nice. Goldeneye for Nintendo 64. We spent so many Sundays playing this goddamn game. Once we got this game, it was kind of like... sometimes we play Mario 64, but no, back to GoldenEye. Yeah. We played so much GoldenEye. You go through, like, basically, obviously, the movie. Like, they made levels based on everything throughout the movie, which is cool. They had to add some things, obviously, to make the game, worth playing. So, but that's besides the... I don't even know where I'm going with that.
There was a wide variety. You had a couple vehicles, like you drove a tank, you got to jump off a bunch of stuff. There's
the dam.
Explosives and like things like that. It kept it for what it had and how it executed it. They did it beautifully with the hardware and the software they had.
Then all the sweet cheat codes.
You had to earn them.
I think we finally got all of them.
We got all of them somehow.
You could like have enemy like health like nothing, or like
paintball mode,
1,000% more. Slow motion mode on the enemies, so they're like, and then you're already like, like shooting them in the face or whatever. So that was it's just a really fun game. And then multiplayer, like the split screen, going after each other. Super fun, super frustrating, because you get the problems of the maps, and then like you can
see
look,
the other person's screen
and just be like, oh, I know where you are, ping, 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 ping. And then when you unlock more of the characters, I think we had to finally put down a rule where no one was allowed to be odd job. No one, because that little dude was like.
And then what happened is you crouch down even lower and you just walk around the stage thing. You try to aim as like, then go down low enough. Oh, crap.
Some assholes running around as odd job, crouched, biting ankles, killing everyone. And, being a kid, you don't even think about it. But then, he'd be odd job sometimes. This was before the rule. Yeah. He'd be odd job and I'd be Jaws. Yeah. So I'm like the tallest guy. He's the shortest guy.
Huge disadvantage.
And it's like, where the fuck? And then, forget about it if you put like Golden Gun on.
Oh, yeah. Question.
Because he's just like this, like off the ground and going, one shot kills. And you're just like, you know what? I don't even want to play with you anymore.
Yeah. Choose 2 maps, a mission and a multiplayer. Favorites.
Okay. I have 2 favorite maps on GoldenEye. Facility and the frigate. The boat.
It's pretty close. That was one of the 2 I was balancing. Like frigate, the train. The frigate
train.
And the train level. Yep. One of those 2 were my favorite mission. And then multiplayer mode, I like playing in the bunker.
The bunker was good.
Remember there was a glitch we found or something, and we would have floating explosives?
Yes.
So in the GoldenEye, there's 2 TV stands in the big room. You blow them up with a couple of remote mines, and then for some reason that triggers a glitch in it, and you fire like a rocket, and it just stays there in midair, and you could like line up a whole room and start like a chain reaction like dominoes.
Yeah.
Go try that one at home.
That was fun. But yeah, this game just, it had a great arsenal of weapons. The train level you talking about, you get to use his laser watch to open the floor. That was cool. Thumbs up. That's why it made the list.
Number 6. I'm keeping it consistent at least for each one.
That's good.
That's all.
That
So
good.
we want to do a funny one, like a super loud one, or just 6?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Number 6. WWF Warzone. And yes, that's right. WWF Warzone. Not this WWE bullshit.
Yeah.
WWF.
We want to watch pandas fight? No.
No, but pandas with steel chairs.
Bubba Ray Panda, put him through the table again.
So, it was released in 1998, and those of you who know wrestling know that 1998 was right in and around the Attitude Era, which I think is the best era in all of wrestling ever. That's just me, though. Because you had, legends like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock,
Mankind. Gold Dust, Mick Foley.
Gold Dust was around for long before that. But,
but he was still in that area. You had
the Undertaker.
I think
Kane was there.
Around. There was so many.
I think in this game there was even there was still like British Bulldog, Bret Hart. All these guys.
Them
so there was like a story mode. You could go in and you could you create your own wrestler. You can give them like custom moves, or you can give them moves from an already pre-existing wrestler. And Stone Cold Steve Austin was my favorite wrestler. Probably still is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Definitely, me too.
He's just the most badass dude ever.
He flips everyone off. He drinks beer
and flipping off and potty mouth and just his fucking Stone Cold Stunner. Yeah. Like, what more could you... And he was the only... I think he was the only character in that game where he was the only one I knew how to do his finishing move, which is the Stone Cold Stunner. So even when I made my own character, I would still give him Stone Cold's moves because I knew how to do the finisher. And I would just... I don't know. I would go through all that. Versus, tag team, cage, hardcore, which is like you just reach under the mat and just pull out like a bat or a piece of wood or chair and just beat the shit out of whoever. And Tornado and Battle Royal. It was so much fun. And you could set matches where there's no time limit. So I'd beat the living tar out of my opponents.
Don't pin them and you just go in for
You go get your weapons, you beat the shit out of them. Get their life bar to red because that was the only time you could do a finisher. And then I would just Stone Cold Stunner them over and over again and be like, go up on the turnbuckles, and then,
because he wouldn't use his legs because he had the braces and stuff. He'd always just drop boom.
Yeah, so anyways, that game was super fun. Next on the list.
Number 5.
Numero 5. I think I saw it on Video and Arcade Top 10. Do you even know that TV show?
With Nicholas Pickles.
Nicholas Pickles. Oh, that's his real name.
That's like he's from our whole Ontario and stuff. He's like local. He's a legend.
The show is
YTV.
Canadian. Yeah,
come on, Nicholas.
Canadian.
He used to be a broadcaster 97.7 or something like that.
I don't know.
He was on something. One of the radio
he was on the radio, or he still
area,
is, or something.
on the TV. On that. Oh, I love Nicholas Pickles.
So you watch this TV show and players are squared off against each other. They all compete in the game. I still don't know to this day what the criteria was to win.
Oh, it's probably whoever
got the farthest or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I saw this game on there and it just blew my mind because it's for Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country. I think this was a game changer in terms of gaming graphics. It had that 3D vibe because of the way they did the graphics.
Yeah, right? The design, the art.
I mean, basically the story is the Kremlins took your bananas and you just set out to get your bananas back, and then you talk with Cranky Kong and
you got to beat up King K. Rool and all that.
King K. Rool.
I know the characters.
Yeah. It was just the original, obviously, and it was such, like I said, the way that the technology for the graphics they used, they experimented with 3D sprites instead of just 2D flat sideways people running. It was I don't know. It was more in depth. There was more to look at. It was visually, it was just a very stunning game, and so because of it, you couldn't help but just enjoy it. And then like, you know,
they
Donkey Kong and
elements where wasn't this the first Diddy Kong, and
well,
they
you
added
got Diddy
like
Kong,
a tag team element where instead of just being a normal Mario back and forth side scroller, it added elements where you had to destroy certain things. You had certain characters that are like stronger, and you switch through them. You had a 2 life system.
Yeah, all the barrels and the can, and then even having the animal buddies that you can ride or become in the bonus levels or whatever. It was just a really fun game. At sometimes it can be frustrating and challenging and make you want to throw your controller through the TV. But I mean, what game doesn't do that at some point, right? Some point or another.
A lot of games.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's just
90% of games make me do that because I like to play really good games.
Yeah. But this game, because it was the original, it was like. It stood out. You know, they made Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3.
The return
of them, you know, for the Wii U. Something like that. You know, and then Donkey Kong's been used in everything from Smash Brothers to Mario Kart to, you know, all the old Donkey Kong games.
Yeah, they started together in the arcade.
Yeah, in the arcade, you know. So, I mean, Donkey Kong is a pretty important piece to Nintendo's history, and this game definitely helps, I think, solidify that. I think so. Yeah, it's a really fun game. I enjoyed it immensely.
I would be sold to try to play it if you ever found a way to dig it up and
I have it right here in this box.
Well, that's like I said, I've never played it.
Could do really?
Like I said, like this is an era that I've never got to really be a piece of because Super Nintendo was just I didn't have it.
Yep.
I went around that one.
Okay, well,
so like that whole era is like a blank for me.
We can do it.
Number 4.
Grand Theft Auto 5. We've all played Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah, like let's pay our respects to the everything before them and know that you're always going to have this experience going through the Grand Theft Autos.
Yeah. When Grand Theft Auto 3 came out for PlayStation 2, I believe, that changed everything. Mm-hmm. You had the 3D, you know, third person view. You know, you could get out of your you were there down in the action, and you could see everything. It was big game changer. And you know, and then Grand Theft Auto 4, obviously, as they go, they improved and improved. But then what they did was not only was the story mode pretty sweet, but it was big. In Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, if it was big, you could play between 3 different characters, Franklin, Trevor, and Mike, and they're just 3 different dudes that came together through the shit that they did, came together, formed a team, and then you heists and all sorts of shit you get into. But then Grand Theft... Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here all over the place. Yeah. But Grand Theft Auto 4, they finally introduced an online play, but it wasn't like Grand Theft Auto 5, right? You could still get together with people, and you could still kind of mess them up a bit, but it was more like the big map was like kind of like the hub, and you had to just you pick your missions and go through that way. Whereas now, obviously, they were like, fuck it, let's let everyone just
make their own game,
wreak havoc on each other and troll each other and raise hell, and then, you know, we can have the different missions, and, you know, they've done so much with like cars, vehicles, all kinds of vehicles you can own. You can buy, you know, warehouses and freaking start your own business, like empires. You can drug run, like all sorts of crap. It's crazy involved now. And then not to mention all the customizable like races and maps that people can do, and there's just so much you can do now, and that's what, you know, it keeps you coming back for more, because Rockstar's, what they're doing right is they're doing all sorts of updates all the time, and it's not really costing you anything. Like, you can buy those shark cards and like get yourself a shit ton of money, and then you can buy stuff and keep up with, or you can grind it out, do a bunch of heists, do a bunch of different other things, but no matter which way you choose, it's always still fun and interesting, especially when you put the headset on and hop on with some friends then it's like hilarity ensues, because there's so much bullshit's going on that you just, it's so fun, it's so entertaining.
There's never-ending content almost.
Yeah, when did it come out? 2014. Well, it came out in 2013 for PS3.
And I think this is the most recent Rockstar release. 5 has been the last game they made because they've been doing so well off on sales and all the transactions and everything. So it's that's a long gap for a big thing like that. Whereas versus it selling for Assassin's Creed that comes out every year. That's lasted already 5 years and there's still so much more to offer from it. So that shows off how well it's been doing on its own. Yeah. So take that into consideration of what everyone's thinking about it too.
Yeah. And it keeps you coming back for more. You always go back and you check out the updates. Because you want to see what they did, how they did, and outfits. I'm still kind of confused as to why in the character, you go to the fucking barbershop and you can't give your dude a big, huge beard. But in story mode, you can give Trevor a big beard like this. So that's my only complaint about the whole game.
Rockstar, you better be listening. We want beards.
Give us our goddamn big beards. Because,
it's in fashion.
That's beardism.
Yeah.
You beardists.
Number 3.
Enough said.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Who is this?
Groovy, man. And no, I'm not talking Austin Powers.
Yeah,
I'm talking Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim is literally an earthworm that somehow
fell into a spacesuit,
and it gave him the ability to walk, talk, shoot a gun, and that's it. It's a platform game, side scroller type of thingamajigs. I had it for Super Nintendo, so my memory is me playing it on Super Nintendo, but it was actually originally released for Sega Genesis.
Yeah, so and that's how I originally
you had
played
it for
Sega.
It
on the thing. That was Super. My generation.
Yeah, this game was quite popular, so much so that they even made a cartoon animated series. Earthworm Jim was voiced by Dan Casnell. Fuck, I can't even. Homer Simpson, the man who does Homer Simpson's voice. I don't know. As a kid, I enjoyed everything Earthworm Jim. The games and the cartoon. To this day, I think I still look it up on YouTube just to try to watch it. I do that with some old cartoon. One of these videos, I'm going to do a top 10 video of my favorite cartoon. Anyway, from the 90s. But yeah, so I mean, you got these cool ass villains. You got Psy-Crow, Queen Slug for a butt. Evil the Cat.
Yeah.
Bob the Killer Goldfish. I don't know that he was in the... Yeah, he was in that one.
Yeah, all these guys would have
Major Mucus. The character design is pretty cool. I mean, these are crazy, Evil the Cat, Queen Slug for a butt. What? I don't know. It's just... There's just something... I don't know. It's charming. It's not charming.
There was something unique about it.
It's just a very unique...
That made both of us want more of it.
Yeah, and which they did. They made Earthworm Jim 2, in which was pretty cool. They actually capitalized a little more on things, I think, in that one.
I think it was less successful, release versus number 1, but I think, it was still, good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard because...
Number 1's the best.
Number 1 is the original game, the first game, hands down, the better game. Definitely, by far.
I know a lot about Earthworm Jim myself, so I can help fill in some of this. Go through the junkyard, go through the pits of hell, you go underwater. There's a whole dang class of it. There's a spacesuit, so you got into space. There's an asteroid.
The asteroid race versus Psy-Crow, where each time, each time if you didn't beat Psy-Crow in the race, you'd have to fight him after every time. So you tried your best to beat him.
There was a lot. Gameplay was very smooth. It listened. Your controls really good. Yep. Everything works bueno.
Yep. So I don't know this game. There's really not much to the game. There's not much to talk about. It's not this big deep thing. It's basically just Earthworm Jim saving Princess what's her name, And
it's really what's her name.
That is her name, Princess What's Her Name, and that's it. You just go through all these levels, and you just blast with your blaster, whip with your worm head.
Yeah, with yourself.
And then that's it. That's it. But it's such a fun game. Replayability is definitely there.
Number 2.
I'm not really hugely into RPG games. I like some of them, but I just don't really have the time to put like the effort needed into RPG games. So I don't play them too often, but when I find one that's special, I try to make the time. And this game, number 2, is one of those games. Is one of those games that is special to me. Final Fantasy IX. It was kind of like everyone was like in PlayStation 1 era, everyone's like, "Oh, Final Fantasy 7."
Those are the ones we shoot. They die first.
Yeah. And then the first Final Fantasy I actually ever owned was 8, and I did enjoy that one. I did enjoy that one a lot, but there were still some things about it that weren't quite there for me. So that's where 9 comes in. 9, I feel, kind of capitalizes on 8 and 9. Dumbass. Takes a little bit of the best of both of those games. They like threw it into a pot, boiled it up, and out came 9. And that's why this is like probably one of my favorite RPG games ever. Right?
Yeah. Just pointed through the series right before it, they're a lot more realistic with their characters and stuff. So in this one, they took a very unique change.
They go back to like sprites.
Yeah, kind of.
Like Final Fantasy VII.
The newer, like...
kind of better graphics. I mean, it's still PlayStation 1, so it wasn't like mind-blasting.
Gonna be great.
No. I mean, the cinematic scenes were quite nice looking. They're quite beautiful. Much like what you're seeing up over here. But the gameplay itself, though, the battle system, I still to this day prefer this battle system in RPG games than any other battle system. You know, the turn-based, wait your turn, pick your whatever you want to do, whether you attack, defend, run, magic, items, whatever, you're all right there, you know. I think maybe that's just because of my own, like, I can't focus on, like, everything going on the screen. So just being planted right there and just battling it out that way instead of, like, because, like, I just recently completed Final Fantasy 15, and that's fun, but like the battle system is like you're trying to figure out what you want to do while you're running around hacking and slashing, while you're trying to push buttons, while you're trying to dodge stuff. It's a little too chaotic for me, I think. So this battle system was always my favorite because, again, I started off with Final Fantasy 7. I watched my cousins and my friends play this one because I never owned it. But they'd bring it over, we'd play and watch and, you know, whatever. And then Final Fantasy VIII, same thing, just the turn-based battle, which was cool. So I was used to that, so I liked it. It worked. I don't know, that was my thing. So call me old-fashioned, but that's my favorite battle system. What I don't know. This game had a lot involved. Like you're always trying to find the better weapons. You're going on. You know, they had like crazy side quests.
Yeah, I want to mention like usually in the Final Fantasy games, there's a lot of content in it. Yes. But I want to say probably 9 had some of the most. You had like so many different elements that added more than just the story. Yeah. There's card game, chocobos, and all that. Like,
can we just talk about the chocobo quest in this one for a minute?
That's what is my favorite part of 9. So please, be
by
my guest.
far the best chocobo quest I think in all of the Final Fantasy games. I don't know. It was just so. It was addicting because you wanted to find every little piece on the map, right? I think the hardest one's the ocean one.
Yeah.
That pain in the ass one. You gotta go. It's literally the picture of just water.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, go look around the ocean for where you gotta peck down and get the treasure. Wait, was that Zidane's final weapon in that one?
Yeah, that's how you obtain it. The ultimate weapon. When you hit on disc 3, there's a whirlpool there, but on disc 4, it goes away, and then you can dig there and get his weapon. Okay. Yes. So yes.
Yes. So I just remember that, but yeah, no. And then you get all the different colored chocobos in order to advance to get the different treasures because you had to climb mountains or you had to go through different. You know, you go on water and then you have to go and then you had to actually go up.
Yeah.
You had to go up in the sky, you know, like it was so well thought out. And then you had to go to all the different chocobo forests to like dig to get different,
the lagoon,
to get
the forest, the air garden. There's
like,
a whole bunch.
You know, you get to play a bunch of good characters. I mean, Zidane, Vivi, Steiner, strong as an ox. Steiner, Amarant, Freya, all these
Quina,
Garnet,
Arco.
all of them. Great cast. The story was pretty cool. I mean, I haven't really played too many Final Fantasy games between 9 and 15. I kind of stopped because I tried playing 10, and yeah, I know people really like 10.
I really don't.
But it was so linear. Like, what I really also enjoyed about Final Fantasy 9 was the fact that the world map was just wide open. And you had your flying ships, and you could go wherever the hell you want, and you could, you know, battle. You know, you could try to find where the strongest monsters are, battle them, level up, you go where you got to go, do the chocobo quest. Like, there was just so much.
Yeah.
You know?
And I want to just comment on one thing. There's no excitement anymore of when you got those old games like 7, 8, and 9, when you opened it up and you're like, there's 4 discs to this game?
Yeah,
and there
holy
was
shit.
probably nothing more exciting to know, like, this is the freaking adventure I get to have now until I finish this.
Yeah.
Versus something you get nowadays, it's like, oh, here's a disc, you got to download an update, here's your game. There's like not that much excitement to really think that I'm getting into this large expanse.
But then
world.
that too, and you might, you know, beat the game. Like, you might beat the game pretty quickly, and then, you know, the developer might release a couple updates after the fact. You know, no, this was the game.
There is no update.
There's no updates. They put so much shit in this game that it kept you busy for like 100 hours if you wanted, or more if you really wanted to. They got all the side quest, the boss side quest, like Ozma. What?
Yep, Hades.
Yeah.
Secret Blacksmith. Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like so much.
The using the summons, the Eidolons, as they were called in the game. Getting them all. You know, it was a really good. The card game. The card game was, I think, a little more fun in this one than it was in 8. I
have mixed opinions, but I won't talk.
It's still a good game though.
Oh yeah, great.
Then, you know, then you get there's like all the what else? There's the astronomy. No, not astronomy. The Zodiac quest, the coins. You know, there's just so much going on. This game, I don't know. This game, we kind of started doing it on the channel as well.
I don't think we're done with it either. So
no, we're gonna have to we're gonna like get back to it, but it's just, again, it's hard because RPG games, this one especially, so much involved, really long. There's a lot to do, and we don't have all the time in the world, so
we're trying.
But you know, look for it. We'll come back to it.
Number 1.
The number 1 favorite game is a classic SNES game, and it was such a classic that, like, I have collectible figurines, I have comic books, I have
show them that other thing.
Tattoo. Mega Man X. Rockman, sorry.
Because I'm a Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Yeah. Rockman X, you're right.
Yes.
In Japan, it was known as Rockman X. Anyway. Yeah, the little blue bomber. This game, I can't even remember how I was introduced to this game. Like, I don't even know. Maybe it was my buddy. I don't remember. But all I know is I had the game, I put it in the system, and then when I went through the first level and Vile popped up in his crazy big armor bodysuit, you're like fighting him, and then you're like, oh my god, what's going on? And then you're about to freaking eat it, and then Zero comes in and slices up Vile and saves your ass, and you're just like, what is going on? And then the robot, this game, this game is so fun because, like, the first thing that you really notice, though, is, like, on the box, the character design. I mean, Mega Man, he's a robot. He's a kid robot, basically. But, you know, he's I think just the overall look of how, you know, you're just like, oh, dang, that looks really cool. So let's see what he can do. And then you come to find that, like, with, you know, there's, what is it, eight levels? Plus the after levels with, like, Sigma, the main protagonist guy. There's 8 levels, 8 different bosses, and after you defeat each one, you get their kind of like ability or something close to their ability, which then you can, through trial and error, you can test on the other bosses to see, because each one kind of corresponds, and it's like they have a weakness to each one. So like the first level, I would start with Chill Penguin because he was the only one that I could actually beat at the time, because I was a kid, I was a little kid, so I was terrible at first. But
I was a little scrub.
and then you get you shoot ice, so then you use it on, I think, Spark Mandrill, which was a fucking big ass mandrill monkey thing. And then, there's the Launch Octopus, Armored Armadillo, Stink Chameleon, Storm Eagle, Flame Mammoth. Okay, this is the weirdest thing ever. This is what solidified the game for me. Aside from the actual gameplay, the challenge, the character design, like all that, the music. It was still 8-bit like bullshit, but it was epic in a way. And like my favorite song is on the Storm Eagle level. And I wonder if I can even pull that up for like a brief moment. But like it was so cool, in fact, that if you've ever heard of the band Power Glove, which I know you have, they actually did a version of that. So actually probably pull that up. Mega Man's huge, like it exploded. So like Mega Man X2, Mega Man X3, Mega Man X4, which jumps to PlayStation, which I had. That was my first game for the PlayStation I ever owned. That's a freaking great game too. It was kind of like I had a hard time choosing between that and this one. That one you can be Zero in, like you can play the whole game as Zero, but so that was kind of cool. But Mega Man, the original, it just pulled up ahead just because it's the original. It's what's like, there was Mega Man games before that, like in Nintendo up to earlier, just Mega Man.
Yeah, this isn't his first rodeo.
But this is Mega Man X, a whole different kind of, he's a different robot, different, you can,
Mega Man 10.
You can go through the different levels. There's certain levels which have extra armor where you can bulk up Mega Man, make him even stronger, and then his charge attack, or even when I think it's if you charge like even the enemy's powers that you gain, I think you can charge them if you get the X Buster, and you make shit even stronger and more powerful. It was cool. And then you could dash, like, because in the old games and in this game, like there's he just runs, and you're like, oh my god, get there,
go faster. This one was the first slide one.
But this one, you get the boots, and you're just like, and you can like hit the dash button and haul ass through the levels. So that was like the first one I always tried to get was the boots, because I could not handle just doing like the
run through.
Just like the doing this across the screen. It was stupid.
Question:
Yes?
Is this the one where you get the Hadouken power?
Oh, that I
did you never know about that?
I didn't know about that.
No, you should.
I'm gonna check that out
now. There's like
because all I know is like you can like hold the shoot button and it charges up, and then you can, once it's fully charged, you pow and just. Phew.
So there, I taught you something.
Yeah, I learned something new about my favorite game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, the face of Capcom, bringing it a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, frig, you're like Street Fighter freak, and Capcom's on there, so and then you get the different the boss with Sigma. You fight Sigma after, and like you go through like, this isn't even my final form, Sigma, like where he's got like three different phases. You fight him, and it just gets harder and harder. Yeah, a lot of it's just trial and error, especially with the finding the weakness of each boss. So I don't know. It's just, again, replay value, if you're just like, you know what, I feel like kicking some Maverick ass. Just turn on Mega Man and just do it. Because, I mean, you can't, and then again, it was so popular. There's action figures, comic books.
He's the face of Capcom. Like literally, like,
and that's saying a lot because like Street Fighter is a juggernaut.
oh, it's a great game, but like they're not on the face of it. It's Mega Man show,
and action figures, comic books, animated cartoon, which
it makes references in other games. When you play Dead Rising, you can unlock his shooter in it,
Buster,
and that's not even a Mega Man game. Like he ventures way farther.
Yep.
I think he recently hit Smash Brothers recently.
He was in Smash Brothers.
The most recent one, number 4. He's in there. He's invading the world no matter what. His popularity.
He's been around a long time. So I mean, he's just great. I love him. I've got a bunch of figurines over in my display case over there. Like, got comic books somewhere. I think they're put away though right now. And like I said, I love him enough to even get him tattooed on my body. So that says a lot about that because I don't do that for just anything. Mm-hmm. So anyways. I think that's good. That's all 10 of my favorite games. That being said, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let us know maybe what your favorite games are, because we're always interested in checking stuff out. Yeah. So
we'd love to learn more about you as you learn more with us.
Yeah.
So
until next time, take care.